All right, what is up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Guide GTX from Crispi. I've been running this boot for the last little over 2 years, probably 2.5. Put a lot of miles on it, pretty much just solely hiking in the Gila and up in 53 near Taos. So yeah, pretty rugged country, lots of different terrain, and it's performed well. The main goal is just to show you guys the wear and tear that's happened from my old boot and show you guys kind of compared to what a new boot looks like. And you can really tell the difference in the tread and then probably here in the back. So let me pull up my boot here. This is the one on my right foot. Pretty much has the most damage to it, I would say. As you can tell that there's quite a bit of wear on the tread when you compare it to the new boot. So yeah, I'll show you guys close-ups too of what I'm talking about. But as far as the tread goes, the main thing that I noticed after a while of after I hit the 2-year mark, I just started slipping a bunch, and that's why I decided I ended up needing a new pair. You can send these in to get new tread, new outsoles, and possibly repair a rand if you needed to. I'm pretty sure you send it up to the guy up in Utah that works on them. Crispi is actually the one that recommends you to use that guy. Called and it's $100, so I will be sending these in because these boots are good. But the main damage that I guess 2 spots. I probably kick a bunch of rocks, I'm assuming, whenever I'm climbing, get heavy feet, after a long haul. So this, I guess I would call it like a toe guard. I wouldn't necessarily call it like a toe cap, but it started peeling back. My other boot on my left side does not have any of that wear. Now, as far as the lacing system, there's no differences from whenever, 2.5 years ago when I had this boot. But 2 spots that I want to talk about that have been showing or wear, I guess one spot that's causing it and then the other spot that's actually getting the wear, is on the metal eyelet below the tensioner here. And I left it a little loose so I could show you guys. But yeah, the laces, whenever you cinch down basically and get it real tight across your ankle, this lace comes into this metal eyelet, and then you're walking and that lace is going back and forth. So after 2 years, it might be smart to look at that area, see if it's damaged at all. And I personally would probably replace this probably in another 3 months or so. I would hate to have a boot lace go bad that low. If it's up high, you can still get the tension you need around your ankle. But yeah, so as far as the leather holding up, it's done a great job. Haven't had any waterproofing issues. I walk through streams and stuff whenever I'm down in the Gila and haven't had any issues like that. I've hunted in the snow up in Unit 2 with about 2 foot of snow, and yeah, still no issues. These are 200 grams of insulation in them, which I think is like perfect for an all-around boot. Granted, when you are spending a lot of time in the cold, I would end up going to the 400 grams. But being that I run these all summer and through the whole winter, I think it's a good option for me. And I wanted to talk about this rubber rand. This is probably my favorite thing about this boot. And it's just so tough. Even from, the new boot to the old boot, like they don't really look that much different. It doesn't look like it's worn down really at all. And it does end up protecting the leather, which when you're kicking rocks like I do, I guess, it would damage the leather a lot. I actually had a fence post that I hit with the rand first, and then it came up and scraped the leather. And it seemed like at the time it went pretty deep, but I still didn't have any waterproofing issues or anything like that. Now, the one big thing that I would like to tell you guys, just a tip, is try not to set anything on top of these boots. Sometimes we set our boots in the back seat and then stuff falls down on top of them. Well, I only started having blister issues, but when something sets down on it, it really scrunches that boot down, and then it collapses right here in the back. So I'm sure that's going to happen with any tall boot if you do set stuff on it. But just so you guys know, if you guys do end up buying these boots. Speaking of buying them, they are at Sportsmans. You can go try them out. They're a very, very comfortable boot. Yeah, I mean, you really can't go wrong. But one thing, or actually two things, as far as the price point that I would say, I guess are downsides, is the tread. You know, the tread lasting 2 years for $500 boot, and then having to spend another $100 to get them repaired. Granted, the boot is good. You could probably go through 3 or 4 repairs before ever having to actually replace the boot itself. Unless you need a boot like me and you have to purchase another one before sending these in, because it does take, I think he was saying like 6 to 8 weeks before you would get them. Whenever I called to get them replaced. Now, it's a soft material that Vibram is using, and it grips really well when it's got some tread on it. When it starts to round off on the deep lugs, you end up slipping a lot going uphill and downhill, which I was experiencing. The other thing that that I think is that they got to step it up is this footbed or this insole. For a $500 boot, this is like paper thin. I've had to put custom ones in these boots. So if you are expecting to use these straight out of the box, they're probably going to cause you some pain. Not only that, I have experienced in the past mesh causing blisters or irritation on your foot. So just keep that in mind. You might want to grab some insoles or put your custom ones in. And I think I can link those down in the bottom too, the ones that I'm using. They're specific for hiking. And I've been running them for the last 3 years. They're barely now starting to kind of wear out or just thin out on the heel, which I do put a lot of pressure on my heel. So Crispi, if you guys are watching this, you guys got to step up your game for the insole. I think it's unacceptable for a $500 price point, because this thing's not going to last. It may help with your sweat, and I think that's what they claim, but yeah, it's just not going to work. So besides those two things, these boots have been great. I did buy another pair. I have no reason to switch boots into a different brand. And for me, I'm okay with replacing the tread. But you know, it's nice now because I have 2 boots. I can send one in and use the other one, and take both with me just in case, you know, I get soaked through my pants and stuff, or morning dew or something. I can just let another pair dry out. Now, I did want to mention one other thing. These boots are dark. I did treat them before I was going to send them in. And other than that, I mean, they just stayed a little bit lighter color. You know, I imagine this boot, but dusty. And I would recommend probably treating them at least after every season, just to keep up with it. I didn't notice any, I mean, they were a little bit dry, but I didn't notice any like damage to them from me not treating them over the last 2.5 years. So just keep that in mind. But I hope you guys like the video. I hope I hope this helps just with deciding on a pair of boots, and just gives you an idea of the longevity of what a Crispi boot might last. Granted, they all have different treads, but most of them, or I think all of them, are Vibram soles. So just keep in mind, some of the more rugged sheep boots, they might have a more solid rubber in there that would just last a little bit longer. But other than that, I hope you guys liked the video. Go ahead and check that link down on the bottom. I'll have links for the boots, and then hopefully for those orthotics that I can put up in there. But if you guys like the video, hit that like button. And if you want to keep up with any other reviews, or just see the gear that I've been running for the past few years, then hit that subscribe button and that bell next to it so you get notified. But thanks for watching. Have a good one.